Mr. Daly. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Anton Thomas Krebs, file number 2023-21639FH. I have James Daly appearing on behalf of Mr. Krebs, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time that was scheduled for a plea in this matter. Mr. Daly, and Mr. Daly is in person, Mr. Krebs is via Zoom, and Mr. Sneed is via Zoom. So, Mr. Daly and Mr. Sneed, is there a plea offer that's been made?
Yes, Your Honor. On Mr. Krebs' case, there's been a Killebrew, or will be a Killebrew entered into, where the defendant pleads guilty to count 1, assault of a prison employee, count 2, assault of a prison employee, with counts 3, counts 4, and counts 5 being dismissed. And then count 6, he'll plead to assault and battery, and count 7, assault and battery. In regards to these sentencings,
will count 8 be dismissed too? You said?
Yes.
Okay.
And on the Killebrew agreement, he'll enter his plea, and then he should be sentenced to 12 months in Lennox County Jail, which should be suspended as long as the defendant complies with the terms of his probation and obeys all the laws accordingly.
Okay. Sarah Teskey too. Ms. Teskey, I am going to be taking a couple pleas right now.
Okay, I'll get on.
All right, thank you.
Who are they on?
Anton Krebs, the first 2 on my docket this morning.
Okay, I'll get them.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you, bye.
All right, is that a correct recitation of the plea, Mr. Sneed?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Right, so Mr. Krebs, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. You are Anton Thomas Krebs, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, you've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty to count 1, assault of a prison employee, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison and or a $2,500 fine? Count 2, assault of a prison employee, which also carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison and or a $2,500 fine. Count 6, assault or assault and battery, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. And count 7, assault or assault and battery, which also carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. So is it your intention to plead guilty to those 4 counts?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you fully understand that the remaining counts would be dismissed and that you would receive a suspended 12-month jail term as long as you're compliant with probation?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me get Ms. Teskey in here. Maybe I'll get Ms. Teskey in. Okay, I'm gonna start right. So neither other than, okay, Ms. Teskey, I have Mr. Krebs. Mr. Krebs is pleading to count 1, count 2, count 6, and count 7. So 1, 2, 6, and 7. Count 1 and 2 are assault of a prison employee, and count 6 and 7 are misdemeanor assault and batteries. There's a Killebrew agreement that he would receive a 12-month jail term suspended as long as he's compliant with probation.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Krebs, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on your behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court other than the suspended jail term. Is that correct, Mr. Krebs, as far as you're aware?
That's as far as I'm aware, yes.
All right, Mr. Daly, is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Sneed?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would be otherwise appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
I do.
All right. Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes. That means I can't appeal.
Okay.
I got it.
Well, basically, by entering a plea, you lose some automatic appellate rights. You have to request appellate rights instead of getting them automatically if you had been convicted at trial.
Got you. I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, not a problem. Do you have any, let me see. If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. So do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
I do not.
All right. So how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about, let's see, how do you wish? Okay, that on or about April 1 of 2023 in Woodstock Township in the county of Lenawee that you did commit the offense? Well, so Mr. Sneed, on the felony information, if he was at the jail, he couldn't have been in Woodstock Township. So would that be the city of Adrian on these then?
For the assault on the prison employee, yes.
Okay. So on that day, Mr. Krebs, how do you plead to the charge that in the city of Adrian, in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense listed under count 1, assault of a prison employee? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And in count 2, assault of a prison employee? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Right. And so I'm going to guess on count 6 and 7, those occurred in Woodstock Township. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. So how do you plead to the charge then on April 1st of 2023 in Woodstock Township in the county of Lenawee that you did commit the offense of a count 6 assault or assault and battery? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And then count 7 assault or assault and battery? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to these charges?
No, other than the plea agreement.
Okay. Do you understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
I do.
Is a prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Daly, Mr. Sneed.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Other than the 12 months suspended, in terms of probation, length, fines, and costs, has your attorney promised you any other particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be?
No, just that.
Okay. Okay. Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
It is.
Okay. So, Mr. Krebs, on April 1 of 2023, at some point you came into the custody of the jail. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. And the charge is assault. And would you agree the jail is located in the city of Adrian in the county of Lenawee?
I do agree.
Okay, and there was, let's see, a Sergeant Molnar who is employed at the jail, and also an Officer Ray listed under count 2. So at the time you entered the jail, did you use violence, threats of violence, or Mr. Daly, can you help me out with this? What happened that day?
On that particular day, while he was at the jail, he threatened to beat people up, assault people, called them a bunch of names, and became very difficult to deal with.
Okay, so Mr. Krebs, would you agree that on April 1 of 23, when you were at the Lenawee County Jail, that you threatened some of the employees there with violence?
I do, yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and would you agree that did you push or pull or struggle with anybody at the jail? Employees at the jail?
I suppose so, yes. I went limp, yes, and
Okay,
it's all on video. It was hard for me to watch.
okay,
So
I
I'm
can
not,
understand that. And would you agree 2 of those employees would have been Sergeant Molnar and Officer Ray?
yes, yeah.
All right, Mr. Sneed, are you satisfied on those 2 counts?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so on that same day, were you in Woodstock Township in the county of Lenawee, and were you in the presence of an Ashley Moore and a Janie Blevins?
That is correct.
Okay, and let's go with Ashley Moore. So did you threaten to assault her or assault her in any way, like push her, pull her, knock her down, threaten
I did.
to? Okay,
Yes, Your
can you
Honor.
tell me, what did you do to Ashley Moore?
She ran up to me and I struck her.
Okay, and what about Janie Blevins?
She struck me and then I struck her back.
Okay, all right. Mr. Steen,
People are satisfied, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Daly, has court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D?
It has, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Steen,
Yes, thank you.
I accept the pleas. They've been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He does have competent counsel. Other than the Killebrew agreement, this court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case, but the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I'm going to set this matter for sentencing on March 1 at 8:15 in the morning. Are you available that day, Mr. Daly?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Krebs, I'm going to set sentencing on March 1 at 8:15 in the morning. When we're done here, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Ms. Teskey from the Michigan Department of Corrections. She's going to give you some instructions. You are going to have to fill out a packet, return it, and then you're also going to need to come and meet with one of the probation officers so that they can talk to you about your background and the events that occurred. Be honest with them about both, and then they'll prepare a report. We will provide that to Mr. Daly. If you want to call Mr. Daly about a week before sentencing, he can review that report with you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Now, Mr. Krebs, because the jail term is suspended, do you want to appear via Zoom or do you want to come in person? You have the right to be in person.
I don't mind doing it over Zoom if you don't. I appreciate that.
Okay, we'll do that via Zoom. So, Ms. Teskey, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Krebs, and while you're talking to him, I'll do another matter really quick, and then I'll come back when you come back to the next plea. All right. Okay, so Ms. Teskey and Mr. Krebs. And then Mr. Sneed, were you covering for Mr. McCready then?
I'll contact him right now, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, I tried calling, but, all right, so why do I have the jail? Becky, do we have someone on the jail list? I didn't check it today.
Our 9 o'clock is jail.
All right, Mr. Rains, are you here on one of the paternities?
I am, Judge. I'm here on Mr. Baldridge. Balding
Let me
v.
find
Baldridge.
it. Yep, let me find it. Okay, I got Mr. Bruggeman and it's Mr. Baldridge with, no, he's right here. I got him. And then Miss Spalding is not here. Okay. All right, this is in the matter of, oh, he's not connected yet. Hold on, I'm just waiting for client to connect to audio. And I can actually send him a chat to do so. You can come sit by your attorney, Mr. Kier. All right, I'm gonna send a chat message to him to connect. Looks like a techie though. It looks like he'll figure that out. Yep, he did. All right, this is, and you are William Baldridge, right? Bill B? Okay, this is in the matter of Deborah Lee Ann Spalding versus William Raymond Spalding, file number 23-51150DS. I have Lowry Rains appearing on behalf of the defendant, and I have Mark A. Bruggeman appearing on behalf of the friend of the court and the prosecutor's office. This is the date and time scheduled for a motion for entry of order. Mr. Rains, did you receive a copy in with your client of the proposed judgment of paternity and support?
Yes, Your Honor, I did, and I furnished that with my client. He's had an opportunity to review that as well.
All right, so I guess I would ask at this point, Mr. Rains, does your client dispute the custody and parenting time provision and the child support provision, or one or the other?
Well, Your Honor, the answer is yes. Here's what I want to say about that, just only briefly, is that there are two minor children. With one of those children, the parties have been exercising a shared custody and shared parenting time arrangement of week on, week off. With the other child, who significantly is the son, who is 17 years of age, that child has been exclusively under the care of my client. My client would estimate perhaps 3 or 4 overnights have occurred over the past 6, 7, or 8 months with the mother. My client doesn't necessarily care about the designation of custody as joint legal and joint physical. That can remain. However, he would dispute the overnights that have been attributed to the parties on that basis. And so we would, at a minimum, request a referral to the friend of the court for purposes of a redetermination of child support consistent with what the overnights have been. And we do contest the income that was attributed to the mother by the friend of the court as well. My client is not actually asking that there be a specific parenting time schedule in place. So, Your Honor, after my discussion with my client, just a referral to the friend of the court on support, I think, would be appropriate.
Very good. So, Mr. Bruggeman, I have marked the box that the defendant objects to both, and I've signed the order. And is there anything else you'd like me to address, Mr. Bruggeman?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Rains, this will be sent down and in front of the court referee hearing will be scheduled. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so we are back. Let me see, Mr. Castleberry, what are you here on?
Your Honor, I'm here on a motion to terminate PPO for Aniston Valentine.
Yep, okay, that's 9:30. Okay, thank you, Mr. Castleberry. We'll be with you shortly. All right, so